the BBC on Match of Day, they had the audacity. I think it was Phil Neville actually. Yes, Phil Neville, and the BBC Match of Day tweeted and quoted it. Paul Pogba is a problem because we're always talking about him. But the BBC, before the game and after the game, you ask Solskjaer about Pogba. He answers about Pogba. Then you complain that we're always talking about Pogba. If you don't want to talk about Pogba, don't ask about Pogba. But you want to make an issue of Paul Pogba. Where in some cases there is no issue. You're creating an issue and then complaining that there's an issue. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Neeks Sports. Today we're gonna have an honest conversation about Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba. Yes, a couple of days since the big loss away at the Emirates, for more than one reason, and a lot of things and people have been called into question, and we have to talk about it. We really have to break down really what is going on at Manchester United and what has been going on at Manchester United throughout this season, and we may even go further back than that. Before we go any further, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, share this video, and follow us on all the social medias. So, Solskjaer. Let's start with Solskjaer. There's two sides to every story, you might say. And there's two main sides to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer story. There's Ollie in and there's Ollie out. Now, whilst I'm not sitting on the fence, because I've made my position very, very clear, and I'll do so again as this video goes on, I like to see myself as somewhere in the middle. It doesn't mean I'm indecisive. It just means I'm neither Ollie out, and nor am I Ollie in. Both of them come with their own agendas, and both of them come with their own, rhetoric. Neither of which I subscribe to. The Ollie inners, nothing is his fault. Everything is either the board, the owners, or the players. The Ollie outers, everything is his fault. They may blame the board, they may blame some players, but ultimately, it's all down to him. I don't subscribe to neither of those. The Ollie outers will have you believe that every time Man United win, it's a case of a certain player, whoever it may be, saving Ollie's job. And the Ollie inners feel that some of those players are maybe trying to throw him under the bus to get him sacked or to force their way out of the club. For me, it's probably somewhat a bit of both, but probably more neither. Solskjaer's not going anywhere for now. Famous last words. This video might get uploaded and Solskjaer's been sacked, but I'm saying it. Solskjaer's not going anywhere for now. And when I say for now, it means, let's say, the next few months. Let's just call it to the end of the season. Solskjaer's not going anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, he's not going anywhere to the end of the season. Some people have to live with that and say, all right, cool, we'll just back him to the end of the year and see where we go from there. Some will continue to make their voice heard about that he needs to go. Fair enough, whatever floats your boat, whatever side you want to sit on. But you see me, I like to look at the bigger picture, and I don't think a lot of people do that enough when we're talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We live in a very short-term, small-minded and reactionary society. So if something happens today, a reaction must happen tomorrow to deal with that. There's no long-term planning. And that's somewhat been one of Manchester United's biggest issues. No long-term planning. Hence why we've gone through, we're now on to our, fourth permanent manager since Ferguson? 5 if you want to include Ryan Giggs' short tenure. But there's no long-term planning. It's very reactionary. Now. And as much as some fans speak about the need to build for the long term, what actually then comes out of the mouth in moments like this, where we have lost an important game against Arsenal, what then comes out is, again, the short-term vision. For me, Solskjaer's not going anywhere until the end of the season. And I'm content with that. Am I happy? No, we're in 5th place. Of course I'm not happy. Am I happy with the way we're playing in terms of the performance, let alone the results? No, of course I'm not. Do I think Solskjaer's going to be the one to lead us to a title? No, I don't. But Manchester United is somewhat of a powder keg. Very, very combustible at the moment. One wrong move and it could all blow up again. It could all blow up. There's many delicate situations regarding players at Manchester United right now. And there has been since Solskjaer left. Since Solskjaer joined, since Mourinho left and the state that he left us in. That I think Solskjaer is the right man at this point. I'm not talking football-wise, I'm talking about club-wise. He's the right man at this point. And we're going to get onto some of the specifics in a bit. But when he joined, there were certain players who had spoke about leaving, or agents who had spoken on behalf of players about leaving, or players who just didn't look interested, looked like they wanted to go. Some of them Solskjaer's let go. Others he's kept and, signed new contracts, a la David De Gea. Whatever you think about that is up to you. Anthony Martial, another one. And I think there's still work to be done. There's still players who are not happy, who need to be moved on. And there's others who there's a potential for that they could stay. And we probably want them to stay, and there's a potential for that. Another change at this stage is potentially fatal, more so than any result or lack thereof on the pitch. If Solskjaer gets sacked tomorrow and an interim manager comes in, because we damn well know that Man United and Edward ain't got no plan for another manager. So if Solskjaer was to leave tomorrow, say, you know what, I'm done, I'm finished with this, or they were to sack him, Man United ain't got a plan. We ain't got a plan. We haven't had a plan for about 6 years. We ain't had a plan. And if we had one, it was very short term and we ripped up at the moment trouble started and went on to our next one. We ain't got a plan. So if Solskjaer was to leave tomorrow or get sacked and an interim manager comes in, how do you think that's going to unsettle certain players? Maybe players who we want to remain, players we want to sign contracts, or even players that we want to sign, to purchase. It just highlights more instability at the club. So I'm content with Solskjaer staying because we need some stability. We need a clear direction that we're trying to go in. And again, I'm not talking about on the pitch. I'm talking about off the pitch. Certain players that need to go, certain players need to come in. Our summer signings, I'm happy with them. We need some more in January, this month. I'm gonna do another video on that tomorrow in terms of the players that I think we need to go for. But getting rid of Solskjaer now throws all of that up in the air. It'd been a complete waste. Complete waste. So for me, Solskjaer has to stay. People are nitpicking for me. Very, very nitpicking. And some of it may be valid, but I take it with a pinch of salt because whatever he does, or whatever he says, or however he looks, someone's going to find an issue with it. Someone somewhere. Solskjaer was smiling in the press conference or in the post-match interview after the Arsenal defeat. Are you suggesting that Solskjaer was happy to lose? Because we speak about him not being a good manager. That's one thing. But no one can doubt whether or not he's a fan. And he's a fan of Manchester United. So you don't think that result hurt him? You don't think inside he was burning? You don't think that the smile of the pictures of the smiles that we've seen, it could be a nervous smile? Maybe he's not cut out for the job. No one's stating that he is, or not me at least. But to compare a clip or a moment in an interview where he smiles after a defeat to Ferguson being angry about a defeat or upset, solemn face. What are you trying to prove? Are you trying to say that Solskjaer is happy to lose and Ferguson wasn't? That I don't understand the logic. As I said, no matter what he does, no matter what he says, people are going to find issue with it. If he says that he's happy with the midfield, I'm happy with the players I've got to choose from. They're all quality players, X, Y, Z. He's called a puppet. He's called deluded. If he was to come out and say, like Jose has, that XYZ positions, I don't think, and even some players, he even called out some specific players. But if he was to even come out and say, I'm not happy with my midfield, I'm not happy with this, like Jose did, I'm not happy with that, you would then call him negative. You would say he's not motivating the players. It's a sackable offence to be publicly lambasting your players. How is it going to affect them? Because I heard it. I heard it all under Jose. Because those people wanted Jose out. That's fine, you wanted him out. But don't act like it's the words that he's saying why you want them out. Or that it's proof. Because whether he goes to the left or goes to the right, you're going to find an issue to bring it back to your point or your agenda or your belief that he needs to go or needs to be sacked. So don't tell me about he's smiling in an interview. I know Solskjaer's not happy. We've all been in situations where we give off a nervous smile. That's a fact. And if you say you haven't, you're lying. So what are we trying to prove? What are we trying to prove? The big issue at the moment is Paul Pogba. And I'm not saying Paul Pogba himself is an issue, but the issue around Manchester United right now is Paul Pogba. The story of Paul Pogba. Again, you've got some people who are Pogba out. Pogba must go. And anything Pogba says or doesn't say or doesn't do, they will use it as a reason to say Pogba must go. And you've got Pogba ins, you might say. Pogba inners. Who no matter what he says or no matter what he does or doesn't do, nothing is his fault. And he must stay. I agree Pogba must stay. On a footballing level, Pogba must stay. He's without a doubt our best player. It's not even a discussion. He's our best player. Some will say he's not the most important, Martial is, but I see time and time again, game after game, you would say the majority of the games of the season where we struggle to break down teams because we lack that creativity. Pogba is that creativity. And he's probably the only creativity in our team, if we're being completely honest, unbiased. But let's not act like Pogba's without blame. Let's be real, man. Let's be honest. People question his commitment. They're not wrong to do that. They're really not. So don't act like he's 100% committed to the club because he played when he was potentially injured against Rochdale. I'm not saying he's gone on strike or he doesn't want to play or he feigned an injury. No, I wouldn't do that because I have no evidence to support that. Why would I spread those lies that some people are trying to spread? But don't act like he's 100% committed because he ain't. He said in so much words that he wanted to move. He wanted a new challenge. It left his mouth. It wasn't a quote. We saw the video in the summer. Pogba wanted to leave. Now you tell me what's happened this season. Whether he's right or wrong, by the way, doesn't make a difference. You tell me what's happened this season to suggest that he would have changed his mind. Do you think because we're now down in the dumps, he's like, you know what, I'm more committed now to get Man United back to where they were? Or I think it's more realistic that because we're so bad, he's like, oh, this is the reason I want to leave. I want to win some stuff. I need to leave and, you know, go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. And his agent has come out. Mino Raiola has come out. And he's poisoned himself. But that's probably another story for another day. But he's come out and said, yeah, we wanted to leave in the summer. Wanted to go to Real Madrid. But it's only because of Pogba's respect for Oli, having played with him in the past, why he didn't force his hand or force the move. Am I supposed to applaud Pogba for not causing disruption to force the move? Like, is that what you want? Am I clap? Do I give him a medal? No. He signed a contract. If he doesn't force the move, that's just abiding by his contract. He signed a contract for X amount of years. X amount of years hasn't passed. Therefore, he's still a Man United player. I'm not going to applaud a fish for swimming or a monkey for climbing a tree. No. I need more than that. I need more than that. Honouring your contract is not a reason for me to applaud you. Not going to happen. Especially not a club a size of Manchester United. Not going to happen. But what I do know is that when he is on the pitch, invariably he performs for Manchester United. I don't see this a lazy player people want to speak about. I see a player who has all the ability in the world, has the capabilities of doing multiple jobs on the pitch, but is that in a club and in a system, and it's been like this, where he's has either been shackled, so asked to do more defending than attacking, which is obviously his strengths, or in a system that is disjointed and confused, and it stifles him in his ability to perform at his best. But even within that, he's still clearing away our best player. The stats prove it, the performances show it. Yes, we might want more from him. I want more from most, if not all of our players. He's no different to that. But let's not act like he's without fault. Let's not do that. You're just messing around now. You're being stupid. That's an agenda in and of itself. Solskjaer's... And I understand the confusion around Pogba, because we all know he's got the ability. I don't think that's in question at all. But there's different noises that's coming out, whether it's from the club, Solskjaer, his agent. I don't even know how you can listen to Mino Raiola, everything that he's done. He's come out and had a go at Sir Alex now. And that's the guy you lot are big enough about, yeah, he's talking the truth. I don't care what he's saying, if I'm honest. The man is a pagan. So I'm not paying any mind. Even if I agree. If I agree to what he says, for me, he's an opportunist. So if he says something I agree with, whether it's about Ed Woodward or the board or the structure of Manchester United, he's saying it because he knows that we're going to lap it up. He's an opportunist. He wants to be in the public eye. He wants to make the money. So he's going to say and do the things to keep that part of it going. I don't rate him as a person when it comes to Manchester United. Of course, he don't care what I think about him. He's doing he's doing his job as an agent. But we've heard things from him. We've heard things from Solskjaer. about Pogba's recovery. And unfortunately, he's injured again. And it's very strange because just before the Arsenal game, there was a talk about, well, Solskjaer said that there's a possibility that he's gonna play. And the next thing we heard, he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Like, how do you go from could play, could start, to being out for 3 to 4 weeks? Now, that's why you're thinking, oh, something could be up. Maybe he's trying to angle for a move. And maybe it's coincidental, maybe it's not, that the 3 to 4 weeks covers the January transfer window. And he could be on his move. I don't expect Pogba to be a Man United player next year. If he went into January, I wouldn't be surprised. For our own aspirations on the pitch, I hope he does stay this season and for the foreseeable future. But of course, that's only if he is committed to playing for Manchester United, i.e. performing to his best when he's called upon. So far, he's done that. I have an issue with people's take on what Solskjaer says about Pogba in public. And actually, in his press conference today, he basically said enough's enough. Like, he said, this is an FA Cup game, and you're asking me about Paul Pogba, who's injured. And it's funny because the BBC, and Ramon highlighted it on Twitter, the BBC on Match of Day, they had the audacity, I think it was Phil Neville actually, yes. Phil Neville, and the BBC Match of Day tweeted and quoted it. Paul Pogba is a problem because we're always talking about him. But the BBC, before the game and after the game, you ask Solskjaer about Pogba, he answers about Pogba, then you complain that we're always talking about Pogba. If you don't want to talk about Pogba, don't ask about Pogba. But you want to make an issue of Paul Pogba. Where in some cases there is no issue. You're creating an issue and then complaining that there's an issue. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. What I don't agree with and I don't understand is people getting onto Solskjaer for his comments about Pogba. What do you expect Solskjaer to do? What do you actually expect him to do? Do you expect him to come out and say, yep, Pogba wants to leave, so we're open to any offers? He has stated, whether it's fact or not, he stated categorically on numerous occasions, Pogba is not for sale. Pogba is not for sale. Stated it. But because you think that he's feigning injury, because you think he's angling for a move, may be true. I've got no evidence to back that, but it may be true. But because you're intent on that, Solskjaer must be lying. Solskjaer must be pulling the wool over the eyes. Pogba's gone in this January. But what do you want? Solskjaer to come out and say, yeah, he's going in the January. He's available. Bring your offers. Bring the money. Bring the cash. Show us the checks. That's only going to reduce his value. So even if Pogba is going, and everyone knows, you don't come out and say that. Who does that benefit? Yes, us fans for a second might be appeased that we're getting what we would class as the truth, but then very, very quickly, we're going to be upset that he's leaving. And then when we get less than his actual value, we're going to be upset that and angry at Solskjaer for saying it and potentially reducing his value. Therefore, the amount of money we have to replace him in the January and the summer. He can't win. He can't win. I can only take what the man is saying to me. There's no point looking here, there, and everywhere for assumptions and speculation about what might and might not happen. Mino Raiola said that he's not going to go. And I'm sure that if he was going to go, Mino Raiola will be, because he's been saying some crud. He's been chatting much crud to the newspapers, to the media. If Pogba was going to go, he would be saying that in the press. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Because it just creates more unsettlement. But I can only take what Solskjaer's saying. Solskjaer said he's not leaving in January. I have to take his word for it. There's players that we want to sign and certain managers have said they're not leaving. Unless the club want them to go, they're not leaving. I have to take their word for it. Like, what use is there me speculating about what is not or not going to happen? I have no control over that. I can only take the man's word for it. But as far as some of you lot are concerned, no matter what Solskjaer says, you're going to use it against him anyway. So, you know what? Solskjaer, just say what you're going to say. It don't make one piece of difference to some of these fans. One piece of difference at all. And Pogba, 3 to 4 weeks out. I hope he gets back, I'll say 3 weeks rather than 4 weeks. Massive, massive month for Manchester United into February before the Europa League comes back. We need all our players, including him. So, yeah, I hope he comes back fit, fully fit, and firing on all cylinders. I want to say another thing. It just came to me. When the injury, the news of the injury, and Solskjaer said, yeah, Pogba spoke to his people and they advised him that he should get an operation, and he's taking that advice. People used that quickly and jumped on it. Oh, Pogba and Raiola are taking Man United for a ride. Pogba's running the club. Pogba this, Pogba that. Solskjaer can't control his play. And I'm so happy there was two footballers, ex-footballers, who came out and spoke. I think one was Ali McCoist on TalkSport and Alan Shearer on Match of the Day. They both said, everyone has specialists. We all got our own people who give us a second opinion on certain medical issues. That's not new. That's not a foreign thing. And people quiet down quickly. But as I said, people are just waiting. They're looking for every opportunity to jump on it. So I'm glad that Solskjaer... Well, first I'm glad that those people came out and said what they said, because that shut people up. But I'm glad Solskjaer put the media in this place and said, this is a FA Cup game. The third round of FA Cup. Manchester United against Wolves. And you ask me about Pogba. Again. Listen, some people got an agenda in it. And it's clear to see who and what they are. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.